Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, and you know what that means. Actually, you may not know what that means, because if you're new to Call of Duty or you're new to Warzone, you may not know that Tuesdays for Modern Warfare are update days, and what that means is that Tuesdays for Warzone are also update days. Now, in the next little while, we may be getting more updates than just Tuesdays, simply because Warzone's new, and sometimes when things are new, they update them more, but today is no different. We got an update for Warzone and multiplayer within Modern Warfare, and on Tuesdays, I bring you guys an update video to talk about everything that has changed and is new within Modern Warfare, and now what is new within Warzone. So today, as per usual, we are going to go through everything that changed in Modern Warfare. So we're just going to start out with the big dog right away. Solos has been added into Warzone. So before today, you had to play as a team of 3 in Warzone, but today they added in solos, and I'm not gonna lie, I think they kind of knocked it out of the park. Now, first things first, today I am going to be streaming some solos over on Twitch. It'll be the first link down in the description. As soon as this video goes live, I'm going to be streaming over there. On top of that, drops are enabled, which means just by watching my stream, you can earn some in-game items. Now, on top of this, tomorrow we're going to be doing an open lobby in trio, so if you want to play some games with me, make sure you were in tomorrow's stream. But solos, I really want to talk about solos, because I played a couple of games, and I really like it. Now, the meta is a little bit weird, and I do think that there is a couple of problems with it. Inherently, heartbeat sensors are really powerful. On top of that, if you don't have a self-revive, you're in pretty big trouble. So, I think there are some things that need to be fine-tuned and adjusted, but overall, solos is a ton of fun, and somehow I feel like players play this more aggressive than they actually play the team game, which makes absolutely zero sense for me. The one other thing I will say is sniping feels so good in solos. The fact that when you actually shoot someone in the head and kill them, they're just dead feels so much better than them just being downed and instantly revived by a teammate. They do have self-revive, and as you can see in this clip here, when I down him, he starts self-reviving. That's why I don't get the kill right away, but I'm able to snipe him because I know exactly what he's doing, can line up the head, make sure I kill him before he self-reses. Honestly, I think I'm going to be playing a lot of solos. It feels really good, and I think the more they fine-tune the economy and the actual weapons and attachments, perks, that kind of thing, this is just going to get better and better as the game goes on. Oh yeah, and did I say sniping feels really good? So just real quickly before we dive into the rest of the update, I just wanted to give you 5 little tips if you're hopping into solos today, 5 things that are really going to help you out, and they're really simple. First things first, armor is key. In this game mode, you can't go down and be revived, so if you're out of armor, you're at a huge disadvantage, the enemy's going to have a faster time to kill, and you're basically screwed because your teammates can't pick you up. Make sure you're constantly carrying extra armor. Tip number 2, if you have extra money, go to the buy station, and the order of things you want to get are armor, self-revive, UAV. In that order, those are the most important things. Thing number 3, self-revives. They're really dank. If you get sniped, they're the only way you're going to get back up. Make sure you have one. If you don't, try to get some money. Tip number 4, everyone is using motion sensors. If you're not using them, you're at a disadvantage. The problem is, make sure you're using them at the proper time, get an idea of where your enemy is, take them out. If you have it out at an inopportune time, the enemy jumps around the corner, you are screwed because it's going to take a long time to pull out your weapon. That being said, use one of these things, it's OP. I'm surprised they haven't nerfed it yet. And tip number 5, this is just a Warzone tip in general. Going into the last couple of zones, make sure you have high ground. If you don't, this is what happens to you.
Less than 25 is still standing.
Now, on top of adding solos, they also did a bunch of bug fixes for Warzone as well. And I'm not going to go over all of them because a lot of them are very small and specific. If you want to read all of them, as always, patch notes linked down in the description. But there are 3 big things that they did update that did affect the game that I wanted to go over. First of which, kills are now credited to the player who downed the enemy player. So not the guy who finishes them off, the guy who downed them. This is the way it should have been from the start. This is perfect. Going to make teams a lot better. Your teammates won't thirst your kills. It's going to be nice. The second one, if you're using the contextual tap setting, which makes it so that you can tap to pick up items instead of holding square to pick up items, they fixed a bug where players were unable to deposit cash in plunder when you had that setting on. So basically beforehand, if you're using contextual tap, you could not deposit cash. They now fixed this. And then finally, they fixed a bug where players were able to clip into the walls of hospital. So now you can once again safely land there without having to worry about the walls shooting at you. Now moving over to the multiplayer side of things, we actually got 4 new playlists in multiplayer. The first of which is Gunfight, which is our classic gunfight like we know it and love it, but this time they've added a St. Patrick's Day twist to it. All of the weapons that you get have St. Patrick's Day themed skins and stickers on them, so all of your weapons are going to be green, like you're seeing on screen here. The second thing is called Doorbuster, and I don't know who was asking for this, but this is a 24/7 playlist of Atlas Superstore, 10v10 mosh pit, so various game modes, and they called it Doorbuster. I think they're trying to make a joke about the whole grocery store thing, you know, with like no one being able to get toilet paper and stuff, but this map sucks, so I'm not going to be playing it. On top of that, they add Cranked Confirmed, which is a mix between Cranked and Kill Confirmed, basically a very fast version of Kill Confirmed. I actually really like this playlist, so if you're not playing Warzone, this might be a playlist for you. And then finally, we have Mercenary Mosh Pit, and this is just Mosh Pit, but you can only play solo queued. You can't play with a team of people, so for you solo players, this update is looking really, really good for you guys. Moving into the store items that were added into the store today, the first one we got here is the Sakura edition. This was added today. It costs 1,800 COD points, or about $16 to $18 American, and it's actually a pretty decent value. You're going to get 2 weapon blueprints. First of all, the Striking Tiger. This one is an assault rifle variant that kind of makes the weapon a little bit more like an SMG and adds some flowers on there. The second one is the Sleeping Dragon. I actually really like the look of this one. Looks really damn good with that big suppressor and the round drum mag as well. And then also you get a melee weapon, and honestly this is one of the most different looking melee weapons that we've seen. It's once again still like a knife or a dagger, but it just looks different than the other ones. Other than that, you're just getting calling card, weapon charm, the normal stuff, so nothing great other than that. Now on top of this, there were also 2 St. Patrick's Days bundles added in on Friday. The first of which is called Clover and Out, where you get a green skin for Otter, but on top of that, 2 different weapon blueprints, 1 marksman rifle, I believe this is the MK2, makes your weapon fully green, even makes your scope green, and looks pretty good in my opinion. But what looks really good is the 357 Magnum that is fully greened out, a different grip on it, a full scope. I don't know who uses a sniper scope on their Magnum, but it's there if you want it. And this one's only actually 1,100 COD points, which for what you're getting is actually a pretty good deal. Comparatively, we also have the green tracer pack. Now, this one has tracer rounds, and if you don't know what that is, when you shoot your weapon, green bullets come out and you can see where they're going. This one is for the Ram 7, which is the Snapdragon. I really like the Ram 7, so to have tracer rounds is actually pretty great. And then the other one is a pistol. I believe it is the Deagle we have here. So this one is actually more expensive at 1,600 COD points. You actually get less with it, but the difference is you actually get the tracer rounds. The last thing I wanted to touch on in this video is some changes that are going to be coming to Warzone. Things that have not happened yet, are not in today's update, but have been discussed on both Twitter and in interviews with the developers. And some of these things include big stuff like upping the game size and having upwards of 5 players on your team. Right now, the only ways to play are solos and trios, but adding things like quads or 5-mans is in the discussions. They've actually talked about this in interviews, and we know it will be coming at some point. We just don't know when. There's also some other little fixes like bug fixes and things like the gas mask, which applies randomly when you're in the smoke and can totally screw you up if you're in a gunfight. You can't aim while you're putting it on, and the animation is just super intrusive. Things like that they are working on. They just weren't in this update. So I would expect pretty much every single week from now on to see some bug fixes, some general changes, and then when we get a big title update, that would be my guess as to when we are getting quads, 5-mans, or bigger party games like we discussed. So not a massive update today, no title update or anything like that, but some pretty big stuff inside it. The addition of solos is absolutely huge. I've heard a lot of players who want to play Warzone, but just don't have a group of friends to play with. They want to hop in solo, and now you actually have that option. On top of that, 4 new playlists in multiplayer, which is pretty insane. I don't know why Superstore is one of them, but it is. And of course, new store items. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is today's update. As always, if you enjoyed the video, found it informative, I'd love it if you could hit that like button. It does really help out the channel. Also, if you like what you see here and want to stay up to date on everything on my channel, everything Call of Duty, everything Warzone, make sure you hit that subscribe button, make sure you turn notifications on, and let me know what you think of all of this stuff down in the comments. Are you hyped for solos? You still waiting for bigger games? Let me know what you think down in the comments. But guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, peace out.